should be good to go. We're recording.
Yep, we're recording.
Fresh video. Then I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and I'll let you take it away, and we'll be good to go.
Alrighty. So this is week 2 of our bountiful bookings. So today is my turn to go. So please bear with me with notes because I get all nervous. So, okay, my first question is, have you changed anything since last week? You know, we kind of threw a lot of information out there, and I'm curious if anyone made any changes. Karen, I know you submitted your first party, and you have a booking for a live party, right? Okay. And then my second question was, how many parties has everybody booked since our last call? So I know myself, I booked one. I know Chantel booked a couple. And I know Karen has. I've had a couple of people on my team, actually. So I'm hoping that everyone has been successful at that. So let's get at it. So tonight we're going to talk about booking at parties, booking at both our virtual parties and our live parties. So I'm going to start with live, which is really, oh my gosh, that was so loud in my ear. It startled me. Okay, so we'll start with live. That's where I am more comfortable. So let's go there. Some of the things that I say during a party to sort of plant seeds, which is really important to plant seeds for both booking and recruiting, but we're focusing on booking. So things like, most of my hosts have parties to get blank, or, you know, Angela wants to get this, whatever I'm holding in my hand, from her party tonight, and then I tell them what it is. No tips like knowing the amount of the price amount of a product that is on host special versus saying it's 60% off. For example, the deluxe cooking blender retails for $349, but when you just say 60% off, they have to do some math. But if you say, did you know that you can get that blender that's $349 for $140 when you host a party? And that kind of sometimes like piques people's ears or interest, because who wants to pay full price? That was like a big tip for those things. For virtual, sending out private messages and texts to everyone who participates and purchases is a big deal, because just because somebody doesn't place a purchase but they're active in taking part, that doesn't mean that they don't want to make a purchase. They might not be able to afford it, or they might have other circumstances where they can't right now. But if we still reach out to them and say, hey, is this something you would be interested in? They very well may turn around and have a party. I mean, I've had hosts take just the free and walk away, and that's okay too. So, and it's just making a connection with them, like that is like, I know you really liked blank, like the blender, the quick cooker, whatever power tool you were using. Did you know you can get it at, like, we'll use the blender. Did you know you can get it for $140 in October with a $200 party? We don't want $200 parties, but that takes a lot of the fear away from people. So it makes it a little easier. Another thing is maximizing on the season. So fall is actually the best time to have a party, because everyone is getting ready for the holidays. So once, you know, you get started and you're out there, the ball is rolling, throw it out there. You know, you want to make sure that you are maximizing on the fact that people are going to be holiday shopping. People are going to be spending money, and they can get huge discounts on their holiday gifts for people, or even get them free. And that saves people a lot. Also, be excited. I don't care what you are like which product you're selling or what theme you're tossing out there. Like if you are not excited, they are not going to be excited. So you want to go ahead and Chantel, did you get those chat messages? Because I can't. No, I lost you. You got them?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're good.
Okay, thank you. I just saw they were there.
As they hop on. So I got the chat. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So be excited. Nobody wants to have a party with Eeyore. So remember that. Like everybody loves Eeyore, but nobody wants to have a party with Eeyore because he's kind of a Debbie Downer. So make sure that you're excited. Also, themes. Themes are another booking tool at your parties. And this is virtual or live. You want to be able to be like, hey, do you want to do wine, cheese, and chocolate? Do you want to do soup and slippers? Do you want to do fast and fresh weeknight dinners? Those are all of my virtual parties right now are labeled fall foodie, fall foodie pampered chef party. I don't even know what that means, but they all think it's great. So it can be anything. It does not have to, margaritas and fajitas, that's a big one. And that's easy. Rush hour fajitas and margaritas, super simple. And don't forget your power tools. So guys, I love my brownie pan, but we're not using the brownie pan at parties. We want to show people the brownie pan as far as like our virtual parties because it is very versatile. But we really want to focus on like what is that one thing that you can cook with every night in your kitchen that is going to make a huge difference. So things like the Rock Crock or the Quick Cooker or the Deluxe Cooking Blender. I used that thing 3 times today. I'm not even lying. We made smoothies, we made peanut butter, and we made cheddar cheese broccoli soup for dinner. So those are things that you can show the value in. If you can make this meal on Monday and this meal on Wednesday and this meal on Thursday and Friday, then it's kind of pays for itself in a couple of weeks. So you want to make sure you're using those power tools. Those are also booking tools. So those are the items that come up a lot on the host specials because people want them and they want to get a discount on them. So use those as a booking tool. You know, hey, Sarah, I know that you really wanted that Rock Crock. Did you know you can get it, next month at, know your month ahead special. Always know. I don't like to go more than a month ahead unless my month and my next month are where I want them to be. Beyond that, will I book it? Absolutely, because I don't want to lose the booking. But I will want to make sure that I know what those bookings are. And after this, for November, I know I have it in my phone, but I tell people I don't know what it is yet. And then I'll let them know. I'll still take the booking, but I'll let them know. Okay, what time is it? Oh, we're doing okay. So let's talk about full service checkout. So there's kind of some basic things that we should always go over at full service checkout, and they also help us with bookings. So always do an icebreaker, something like, did you have fun? Did you get everything you wanted tonight? Sometimes it's as simple as, isn't that cake delicious? Most of us do 2 recipes. So those are nice conversation starters. Also, you want to drop in there a recruiting question and a hosting question for all of your guests. And you don't want to prejudge them. You actually want to ask everyone. So you want to say, but be authentic. And I think that's the part that's hardest for everybody. So the recruiting question, say, hey, Karen, you clearly loved that Quick Cooker. And you clearly love our products. Have you ever thought about giving Pampered Chef a try? And honestly, so for those of you who don't know, Karen is on my team, and she was on my team in the past as well. And at her first party, I did not ask her that. And she loved the products, gushed over them. So always ask, and even though we're not really talking about recruiting tonight, we're talking about booking. Don't forget to ask all of your hosts 5 times to join your team. And if you're not sure exactly what that means, ask your upline, because I I don't want to go off track too much. Also, another question when you're asking, if you ask somebody, do you want to host a party of your own? Chances are they're going to say no, because they don't even know what that means. But if you say something like, when should we get together with your friends and family so you can get that blank that you want so bad at an awesome price? Or if you don't know what they want, that like what their really diehard thing is, then go ahead and say, when are we going to get together with you and your friends? You'd be surprised how many people say, actually, I was thinking about, do you have anything left in September? Or I was thinking about November, and have that conversation. And don't just stop there. When somebody says, I was thinking about in November, say, okay, what made you think of November? Oh, well, soccer is running until October, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so your kid plays soccer. You want to wait until the season's over. Were you thinking about a weekend or a weeknight? Oh, you were thinking about a weeknight? Well, I have Tuesday this date or Thursday this date. Which one of those work for you? And then chances are you're going to walk out with that booking. You're going to have some people who are like, let me check my calendar, let me call you back. But at the end of the day, as long as you keep putting the questions out there, people will tentatively schedule a party with you, and then they will confirm it later down the road, even if they weren't sure about the date. And then also we wanted to talk about overcoming objections. So on this one, I'd actually like to hear from some of you. And I know a bunch of you jumped on. So what are some of the objections that you guys get? Somebody. Go ahead, Kim. Okay,
There.
Go ahead.
Objections as far as being told no?
Yep.
Is that
why?
Okay.
Yeah, when they're like, oh, when you ask them and then they're hemming and hawing and they're grasping at something, what's something that they throw at you that you want help with?
Oh, they're too busy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time for it. We're working on a VP right now that the host told me that she has never hosted a party that got over $200, and I informed her that she's never had me as a consultant. So thank you, Chantel. She is over $200 now. She wants the blender, and so now we're working on the 550.
Okay.
I get some no's, and it's like, okay, can I check with you at a later time? And that's, I know Angela and Chantel have been working with me on that. So that's where I'm at right now.
Right. So a lot of people, I'm always surprised at the number of people who say yes when I'm like, okay, can I contact you in a couple of months? Most people actually do say yes. And about half of those will actually respond to you when you do follow up with them. Yes, being very busy is a big one. I think virtual parties are great for those people. That, or the people who are very busy but also very focused, task focused, those people also do good live parties. Have that conversation. What are you busy doing? Sometimes it comes down to soccer. Sometimes you find out somebody works 3 jobs. Those things are all still workable because you can do a virtual party. Did you know I don't even have to come to your house, that we can do this from the internet? And a lot of times people don't even think about that. There are some people who just don't want to do virtual, who want things in their hands, and that's okay too. But the point is to ask anyway. Janet, is there an objection that you want help with? You're still muted. Oh, there you go. You got it.
Yeah, I don't, I'm so new at this, I don't know. I've asked a few people to have parties and they're like, well, let me get back to you because my husband likes this and blah, blah, blah. And they want to do it, but so it's still, I'm really new at this. I don't
Okay.
have that many objections.
Okay. So you just need to solidify those dates with the people who have said, I want to. They just haven't figured out the dates. Okay. Okay. So that's just as simple as, well, if they're friends of yours, you could kind of be like, what's the hang up? What's going on? I can help, I'm willing to work around whatever. Because those are your friends and family when you're starting out. So that's okay. But yes, we've all been there. We've all been new. So who else is on? Let's do one more. Whitney, you want to toss one out?
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we hear you.
Okay, so the number one thing that I always get is I don't think anyone will buy anything.
Okay.
So I think they're just maybe scared, or maybe they've never hosted before.
Or they've hosted a bomb with someone who
That's
didn't
true.
help them, right?
Right.
So, all right, so you've got a couple of things there, right? One is what Kim said, which is you've never hosted with me before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, well, have you ever had a Pampered Chef party? One of the things is host coaching, which that I believe is our next call.
Oh, you got muted. Hold on. There you go. All of a sudden it just went quiet. You were like mid-sentence, so.
I think we're doing host coaching next. So host coaching is key to making sure that those hosts that are nervous about not having anyone buy know how many people to get there, why we invite that many people. I'm not going to go into big depth with that. If you guys really don't want to wait until our next call, go ahead, Chantal. Oh, she's on mute. If you want to wait don't want to wait until our next call, you can PM me or call or text me, and I will gladly give you the words that I use. That increased attendance drastically, but everybody's always like, 40 people. I can't have 40 people at my house. I have never had 40 people at a party, guys. And if I did, that would be an amazing problem to have. So, but you want to go over the whys of those things, why we invite that many people with a host. To a party. You want to go over all of those things with a host. Don't be afraid to have the conversations with people though, and say oh, what are you busy doing? Oh, you're in a play. When is your play? When does it debut? So that you can find out oh, how long is it running? Things like that. And follow up. That is the key, is making sure that you stay in contact with people. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to add to that?
I think the only other thing I would add, going back to Janet being new and her friends being interested but not ready to set a date, is I think it's important, especially as a new consultant, when you're working with friends and family and people that know you, to let them know that you have a goal, because you're still in that 30-day window or that 90-day window. And, I think I was talking to Laura about this last week when we did her coaching call. If you tell people I have a goal to get 2 more shows by September 29th or by October 15th, they're more likely to try to get back to you on a date quickly or book a date right then and there, versus if you're like, hey, I'm booking parties, and they're like, sure, I'm interested, I just don't know when, and then you're kind of left hanging. So being confident about your goals and that they're going to get a ton of free products, so they benefit, but then it helps you even more if they do it in a certain time frame. So we were talking about how I don't even usually buy Girl Scout cookies. I can't even eat cookies. But if I had Girl Scouts come to the door and say, well, we only have 2 boxes left to hit our year-end goal, I'll buy them anyway. Who wouldn't do that, right? If they're oh, it's only 2 more boxes, why wouldn't you buy it off of them? And I just give it to the kids or give it to somebody in the neighborhood or whatever. So letting them know right off the get-go that you have a goal. Same thing, like I know I still need shows for October. So saying, oh, I've got 4 dates left for October. I'd love to work with you in October. You're setting the parameters to book the month that you want to book, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And actually, when Chantel and I started, back then, when you signed your contract, which was on a piece of paper, you had to list your dates of your first 4 parties on your contract. And that's actually what I said to people, is everything Chantel just said. I was like, hey, I have to have 4 parties booked when I start this, and I have 2 booked, and I need 2 more by such and such a date. Would you be willing to help me out? And I was actually really shocked at the people that were willing to help. Did anyone have any other questions? No? Alrighty. So we are going to give you guys a little bit of homework, but it's not due by next week. But let's everybody add 6 parties to your calendar for October. So if you don't have any, then you want to have 6 on there, but aim to have at least 6 parties on your calendar for October. If you already have 6, get whatever you can get, go for it, whatever your schedule can handle. But you don't have to do this by next Sunday, but if you can go ahead and start booking if you haven't already. You guys are so quiet.
Well, I have almost everybody that had background noise muted, and I know they're going in and out here. So yeah, so think of it as a challenge of just getting your October booked, because we're planning these calls to help you guys fill your calendars so that you can be successful through the fall selling season, which is a busy season. You can be successful. We've got almost half of you are still in your first 90 days on this call. So you can be successful with your getting started and all the promotions you can earn that way. So, you know, it's to your advantage. If you've already got shows on your calendar, great. But if you're not started yet, think of this as a challenge to help you get where you want to go. So, and then we'll have one more call this coming Sunday as well to kind of teach you through the next step. So any questions, if you can't unmute yourself to ask them, you can always put them in the chat box. But I just want to thank Heidi for taking the time. I know she planned this call out for you guys, so thank you for taking the time to give everybody these great tips and ideas. And any questions, you guys, or any tips that you didn't get to share, because we started a few minutes late with the link having an issue, so we can really probably stay on another 3 or 4 minutes and just answer any questions that you guys have.
I did want to share one. Oh, go ahead, Karen. We can't hear you. Can't hear you.
She's not showing as muted though.
You're not muted. Okay.
It might be her computer or her device.
Hang on, there's a message.
Type it in the chat. Okay. So I know Sarah is primarily virtual. Whitney's primarily virtual. Hannah, I think you're primarily virtual. Any tips or questions about getting bookings from virtual parties? Because I have found that can be a little bit different of a getting the bookings, because you're not going to have that checkout opportunity to ask them multiple questions back to back. So it's a little bit different getting the bookings. So does anyone have any questions? Or if you've found like something really successful like Whitney, I don't know if you can come on and maybe share your top booking tip for virtual parties.
I would say get the host to help you. That's what's like, give her a challenge or offer something extra if she books 3, or, you know, we'll private message 3 people for you. That's been the most helpful for me.
And what kind of like challenge or incentive would you give her?
I've been giving them $25. So like the brownie pan or the popcorn maker are the 2 biggest ones.
Sorry, I had to mute myself there. Okay, I love that. So thank you. Hannah, what about you? What's your top, if you're able to come in at all? Maybe not. If you can, great. If not, Angela, do you have anyone you could throw out there?
My top virtual party tip, is that what you said?
Yes.
I would say to like, well, what you just said earlier, Kim, is actually a product of that. When we did her awesome virtual party, it was very good. She was motivated to get the 3 bookings, and she was like, well, do I have to get them by this date? And we tried really hard to get them by that date. But finally I said, because she was trying so hard, I said, you know what, if you just get it, the 3rd booking, even if it's after this, as long as we get it, you'll still get the free gift that I offer with the 3rd booking or whatever. But I would also say for new virtual parties, like new themes are kind of fun, like incentive for people outside of the party, I guess. And booking Facebook parties off of Facebook parties, you still want to plant those same seeds you do in a cooking party. So
Right.
if you can go live, if not, maybe a video or whatever of showing one of the power tools in action and asking who would love to get this instead, like, of the $349 for the $139.60 or something along those lines.
Okay. Karen's question was that she has a party next weekend and she got an email that an order was added onto it, and that when she contacted the host about it, the host has no idea who that is, and asked how that could happen. I would honestly, Karen, reach out to the person that placed the order, thank them so much for the order, and ask them how they know the host. You can also kind of break the ice that way, because it might lead you to yet another party. Oh, she's typing again. That's what I was going to do. Yep.
Awesome.
Because you know it, girl. You know what to do. So that's all I have.
No, I think that's great. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so that we can upload this to our team page. So if you want to watch it again, it'll be handy there. Or if you have team members that didn't make it on tonight, you can tag them. Just give me a second to